Today, in this podcast, we are going to discuss a lot of things, but I would like to put emphasis on awareness because if you ask any spoken English learners whether they want to speak fluent English in 6 months or in a year, you find that most students answer yes, they want quick result. But if you ask them to practice on a daily basis, then they will reply like they're ready to practice, but they lose the awareness in the middle. So awareness is a very important thing, and if we are not aware, then we'll be miles away from our perfection, right? So let's start this discussion with awareness, and I would like to get your view on that.
Yeah, so as you've just started with it, it's really a crucial part of learning anything. It is not only about learning spoken English, but in life, no matter whatever step we are taking, if we are missing it with an awareness, then the whole thing is going to get out of our hand. Because so many times what happens, we have proper plan, we have a schedule, we get up in the morning, we make a proper routine for the whole day, but at a certain point of time, because of lack of awareness, we mess up with everything. So it's really an important part. No matter whatever we are learning, if we don't have awareness, then I think that mystery of learning somewhere gets missed. Why am I saying that mystery? Because what happens, every single thing starts with awareness. You want to get up in the morning, you have to be aware of it. If you're not aware of it, no matter how many alarm clock you are just getting prepared with to buzz beside your ear, it's not going to work. You have to be aware. You have to make your mind alarm every single morning that okay, I have this to do, I have to get up. So what happens, that's why at a certain point of time you don't need any alarm clock. You automatically get awakened with your physical alarm clock. Every morning you get up, you feel like yes, I gotta get done with that work. That's why we see that since our childhood, because we practiced something, like as soon as we get up, we brush our teeth. We don't need any alarm for that. We don't need any kind of awareness for this reason. We just need a practice. So awareness can only we can give a birth, or we can give a birth of awareness only when we are practicing it every daily basis. So the first part is that how many times you're practicing it. You're making mistake, absolutely. Making mistakes are the part of our life. Without mistake, we cannot learn anything. If there isn't any mistake, how can you know that, okay, I have to improve it? So mistake is really important, but how many times you're reminding yourself of that it is a mistake and I am going to improve it. That realization, that starts with awareness. So as we don't need any alarm for brushing teeth, you also have to make sure at the end of the day that I don't need any alarm clock when it is about study, when it is about practicing English, when it is about doing that work which I have set as a goal or as an asset of my life. So that's all I can say right now, that awareness is really important. Practicing awareness is really important. We talk about awareness, that how can we gain it?
Because from time to time we lose it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in the middle of the day, I forget to remind myself of my awareness. I sometimes forget to practice English, and the horrible thing is that I'm ready to make excuses. That that point of time I forgot to practice English because of this reason. It is another awareness that you are not making any excuse for your for your reminder, or that okay, I made a mistake and I'm ready to improve it. I'm not ready to make a shield in front of me that okay, I'm going to what's that, like I'm going to protect myself from that mistake. No, you're not protecting yourself, but you're just throwing yourself in front of that mistake so that that mistake can teach you something, and which is going to help you. Yeah.
So yeah, whenever it's come to awareness, I can say one thing, that when our mind is totally proactive, this time we can say we are aware with the work. So every time I try to practice it, as you have said, that practicing awareness, that is most important, because when I limit my imagination only thinking, then I think make in I cannot make in a reality. So it's very important to practice it, because when I talk about my past achievement, I can say one thing, that I learned something, I worked little bit, for that reason I achieved something. I think somehow that is so important for illuminate our future. And every time I have observed that whenever I take anything as an obligation, this time I'm not so aware with my work. So I try to make in reality, I try to practice it, because every time whenever I have my classes, I try to wake up early. I try to practice so many things. But when I set a goal behind a work, this time I'm so much aware. But when I do not have any proper plan, when I'm totally confused, this time I don't know what is awareness. When I have a proper goal, then I work, then I wake up automatically. I don't need any pressure. I don't need any push to waking up. So I think when I have a proper goal, in order to learn English, in order to learn anything, this time I can practice awareness.
Tada, I have observed another thing when it is about awareness. Most of the time, what happens, we confuse awareness with restlessness. Because what happens, let's say I've decided to practice English, and it is not my awareness, but I'm thinking, okay, I have to sit down with practice. I have to sit down to practice. I have to sit down to practice. And we mess up everything. I've observed it in myself. Let's say I do feel like practicing it, and I'm not aware of doing it. That's the reason why whenever I feel like I need it, then I all of a sudden sit down without any proper plan, and everything gets messed up. Like, without any awareness, if you are trying to do something, it will get converted into restlessness, and everything will get messed up. That's why we say that, okay, when you're reading book, just try to do it, and our focus gets spreaded into something else. Let's say I'm trying to read book, and all of a sudden I'm thinking of having some food. All of a sudden I'm thinking of doing something else. So I do think that it gets converted into restlessness, because you're not focused into one thing. Yes, absolutely, when you're thinking about practicing English, this work should be the main motto for that moment. If you're not paying attention to that thing only, then later word you leave all those works unfinished. So this is really important. So all of a sudden, when I was listening to her, I've come in contact with this, that I have observed this in myself, that when I sit down to practice English, all of a sudden I think, for a long time I've not been reading, so I should do it. No, like, that is not awareness, that you are reminding yourself of reading book. But awareness is this, that when you are doing a particular work, you are into that.
You said that when we are reading, we think about speaking. When we are speaking, we're thinking about reading. I read something in the book called Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. And there is a concept called having end in mind. Like, when you put your hand on a particular work, you start a work having end in mind, that okay, I'll be doing it for the next 2 hours. So I'm starting it from 7, I'll finish it at 9, and in between, if I get any work, I will say no to that, because you have the end in mind, you know where to finish. So we talk about making to-do list, right? But we never prioritize the tasks we have. Like we are making a to-do list, but we are putting less important work on the top and the most important work at the end. So for that reason, as you said, the most important work are left unfinished most of the time when we start our day. And I think here I have a point that is, every big change starts with small step. So changing in terms of the kind of work you do or the kind of life you live, and I would like to add another word called productive life. So if you want to have a productive life, you should not be in hurry. That okay, today I'm going to plan for a productive life because I have had unproductive life for a while. It's not going to take place overnight. It takes time, like you are learning English, and it is taking time. So awareness, hope you are aware of subscribing to the channel you have been spending time with. We are the people trying our best to put out best content possible, and I'm not getting comments from you. I want more comments on our work, otherwise we can't grow, right? Your feedback is really important. If you are hesitating before typing any kind of comment, a comment that might offend us, don't hesitate, just comment whatever the things you feel like commenting. We will accept it with great love and respect, because guys, people can only grow through feedback. So we are here working, but we don't know how it is impacting people. It would be unfair if I say we are not getting any comment. We are getting comment. People are calling us and leaving SMSs on WhatsApp, and you get the details in the description if you have any suggestion for the kind of work we are doing. But don't approach us if you have a fraud plan in your mind that okay, I'll just make him buy a particular course or whatever the things that you are trying to sell us. Don't do that. We are smart people, right? We don't fall prey to any kind of scam. So yeah, if you have genuine comment, if you are a learner, most importantly, if you are an English learner, please let us know. If you know better than us, we are just learning English here. This is called practice. Okay, we are spoken English learners. They call me Dada. I'm their trainer. These are official terms. But the unofficial term is that we all are spoken English learners. You people often complain about not having enough topics and you don't know how to speak English at home. We are showing you how to speak English at home. And the kind of conversation you are listening to, it is happening because we are crazy. So you have to also go crazy about different things that you can bring in your life. Okay, so we are not expecting that you will be watching our videos and clapping. Neither we are expecting that you will be watching video and leaving hate comments. No, we are only expecting that at least we can have good conversation here. And now, girls, I have another topic, and the topic is that we talk about self-reliance, we talk about self-dependence, we talk about freedom, we talk about independence, and people are doing a lot of things, like getting all this freedom, independence, and all these stuffs. But when it comes to speaking English, when it comes to practicing English, we often look for somebody outside who will help me practice English. I was listening to Mel Robbins, and she was saying, nobody's coming to you. Nobody's coming to you to help you, to rescue you, to give you any solution. It's you who have to take the step. So what do you think about that? Why are we not able to understand the fact that not anybody from outside going to help me? It's me who has to take the step?
Well, here, when I was listening to you, I was thinking that what should I say here? Because, yes, absolutely. As I observe people using social media tremendously, I don't see any hesitation there. Whatever they share, like sometimes maybe they don't make any sense. Yeah, yeah, smoothly they share whatever they want. Like there is no hesitation at all. But when it is about learning something, as I always say, it is not only about learning English, learning anything. We're always shy, we're always dependent, as I also was. But here I think that we don't take this thing very seriously. That's the reason why we think that somebody will come and open the door for me and then I will go outside, or I will get all of those opportunities, or opportunity itself will come to me. I don't need to go there. But when it is about scrolling something on mobile, when it is about doing something which you've just said, that bullshit, we don't hesitate because we take this very seriously. I've seen some people, those who don't get any like any like in the sense that, let's say they posted a picture and they're getting less likes than they expected. They really get crazy. They feel as if everything is gone, the whole world is going to be destroyed. Nothing is left in their life. So the way they take these things very seriously, they don't take this particular thing like learning or acquiring something or making themselves intelligent seriously. Seriousness is, I want to say, another part of awareness. When you're taking something seriously, it means you're reminding yourself of that awareness or the alarm, you're turning it on. That, okay, oh my goodness, it's really an amazing thing. Or I could say that another part of the coin is that we really don't love this thing because we love posting pictures, we love doing reels, we love doing all of those things which 100,000 other people are doing. But when it is about growth, when it is about growing yourself to that next level, we don't love it. Don't take it as an offense, guys, but still, like, we don't love ourself, our growing self, the growth which is really important. Now people may think that what the hell you're talking about. Like, I don't think I take any of my learning in such a way. So many people are thinking, but if we can dig deeper into it, we can realize that yes, at a certain point of time, we love doing those things which are nonsense, don't make any sense, more than which are really important. So here seriousness is missing, and simultaneously you have to love this. As I always say that, I love to speak this language. It is not only that, absolutely, now I'm so fortunate that through this particular language I've come in contact with lots of opportunity, lots of people simultaneously. Yes, absolutely, simultaneously, to learn this language more and more.
And the world has got smaller for you.
Yes, absolutely. Like, now I don't need to get dependent on somebody or on something. That, okay, yes, I always would think that, okay, oh my goodness, what should I do? Initially, when I started learning English, I all the time used to think that, hope I had somebody, hope people came to me and they would say that, okay, I'm here for you, I'm going to practice with you. But believe me, it doesn't happen. Until and unless you take the step, it's not going to be happening. And last time when I was practicing, I have observed something, that we always talk about taking step, but how can we take the step? What is the first step towards taking the first step? It is
what happens inside.
Yeah, like we always talk
Taking
about
the first step is very much outside,
yeah,
that people can see, but what's invisible, that is not seen.
yes. So I just said that, I was thinking that, okay, I was thinking that, okay, I'll be taking the step. But that bad dog of mine continuously was howling that, okay, you should take the step, but why not later word? But eventually I thought that, okay, no, how can I take this first step? Then my mind said, taking the step is the first step itself.
Yeah, you're right.
Because what happens, let's say I want to read a book, but I'm thinking, how can I start reading a book? Just start. Like, I was watching a fantastic video where I don't recall the person's name, but the person was saying, stop groaning, moaning, and like this kind of word 1,000 times. And at the end, he said, just start doing, just do. Like, make this particular word doing or do as a threat for you, that if I don't do it, I'll never be able to achieve that thing or the future self of mine. That's the reason why I'm really impressed, or I respect UPSC learners a lot.
Yeah. They're the real hustlers.
Yes, absolutely. Or the heroes, Like, absolutely. You have to think to that next level in order to reach there. So probably I've got out of the topic, but what is really important in order to take the step, it is that you are being serious towards that work.
Our original question was being independent. You are not going to depend on anyone for your English growth.
Yeah. And you have to be dependent. You have to be dependent, but it shouldn't be any third party or third person, but it should be you.
Self-dependent.
Self-dependency. So when you are dependent on yourself, you will see that, oh, I'm here with myself. That's why yesterday I loved a couple of points of Afroza. Every single time she was saying, whenever I struggle with something, whenever I feel that I'm not able to do this, I always say that it's okay. I'm here. I'm with you. I know that I can do it. All the time you're thinking that yes, I am here with myself. So seriousness or love for that work, and you're dependent on yourself, then you can get out of the dependency on others.
When it comes to seriousness and depend on something, we always make excuse that I don't have a lot of person in my life, so how can I practice it? But I think being a spoken English learner, it's our own responsibility to practice every single time. But in this 2023 year, we are standing here and we have a lot of opportunity. We can take the help of ChatGPT because that is so important. Because whenever I have lack of topic, I have lack of idea, this time I am always available to take the help. Because if I have an idea in the midnight, then I can just search in the midnight, because in the midnight nobody will be there for me. Only I can get Google, I can get ChatGPT. So I think when I use mobile phone as my friend, as a term of learning something, so I think it's so important. But yes, when I used to practice alone, I used to feel the lack of people. Because we always, whenever we talk about in people, we always discuss that whenever I talk with the people, I get sentences, I get word. But I don't know why we are not taking the help of books. Because whenever we are reading book, we are getting the help, we are getting the real friend. Because I don't know if I would talk about with the people, I would get a sentence, I would get a word or not. But I'm for sure that if I would read a book, then I would get a one word. Yes, certainly it happens every time. Whenever I try to immerse myself into study, I always get a sentence. That is so important. As we discuss, I think every time whatever the sentences, words we get from you, I think that is so much research from you we are getting. So when we learned the crux of the matter, after that, after listening this thing, when I was trying to observe, when I was trying to monitor the sentence, I listened a podcast. There I listened the crux of the matter. And I literally startled that time that, oh my god, Dada used that crux of the matter, and again I have got the crux of the matter. So I have got an opportunity to learn or polish my language very well. Because I'm not depending on a person, but I'm depending on something that will never leave from my life.
Which is the real soul.
Yes, which is a real source. So every time I go through with the book, I go through any book, I listen to any podcast, I get some new idea, and that is so helpful. I think in order to depend on person, in order to learn anything, we can depend some tools. That is so important. That will never leave from our life. So that I think.
Simultaneously, whatever she was talking about, like uh, books, all those resources, they're unlimited. So you don't need to worry that, okay, what if I am done with all those topics, whatever I had. I'm talking about my yesterday, what if I don't have any topic? You don't need to think about any end. You don't need to think about the finish line. You always have unlimited stock. No matter whatever it is, you're going to talk about it. So yes, I really appreciate this point.
I appreciate the things that you mentioned, Shubhadra. You said that we have to be tool dependent rather than human dependent. When you depend upon tools that are available or at your service for 24/7, and those tools never feel disappointed, right? But if you like, it's so funny. Like, if you think that somebody from your friend group will come to you and will help you speak fluent English, or will have a conversation with you, it is one of the stupid perceptions that we have. I'm not saying that no friend will do that. There are friends, but the thing is that that friend is not going to help you every single time when you want to have a conversation. And you have to understand that tools, as Shubhadra mentioned, that tools like Google, like ChatGPT, right? Some videos on YouTube, videos like this can help you to speak English, can help you to get started yourself, right? I often hear one complaint from my students: sir, I was busy yesterday. And that makes me laugh a lot. I work like 15 to 16 hours a day, guys. I have a lot of work. But still, I have some time to speak English. Things that I share with you on my channel, that's a practice, right? That's a practice. I practice there in front of the camera, which is far better than practicing alone, because I have shared these things, mentioned these things a couple of times, that I have camera phobia. Whenever I look into the camera now, like, over practice, I have been able to get rid of that. So when people say that they don't have enough time, or when they are asked to practice English, they say, no, it's not the right time. I think death is the right time, right? Death is the right time. The day you will die, that's the right time. So are you waiting for that day? You have less time. You are going to die soon, right? From this point, the podcast is going to be a little bit morbid. Okay, so if you feel depressed, we are not responsible. Okay, you are watching this video at your own risk. And if your heart is weak, then just watch any reels or short videos. Get yourself a little bit entertained, okay? Otherwise, if you are tough people like us, okay, then definitely you can keep watching. So I want opinion that what are we waiting for? What's the right time?
Well, I also would get amazed always thinking that what should be the right time? What's the right time to start doing something? So then absolutely I came in contact with this surprise from this class that right now this moment is the perfect moment, the correct moment. Because what happens, absolutely, like, we are busy, we are not able to do all of those works. Not every single time we are available to get done with all of this work, but still if we ask this question to ourselves, are we really busy all the time? Then I think we have to bow down our head in front of ourselves, which I have realized so many times. So, no matter whenever you're getting the opportunity, that particular time is the right time. Instead of thinking, I have seen so many people in their free time, they think, okay, what should be the right time? Right now, I'm really free. That's why I'm getting the opportunity to think when I should start my practicing, when I should get done with my work. When you're thinking, when you're wasting that time already, thinking that what should be the right time, why you're not utilizing that particular moment to get started? That moment should be the perfect moment. Like, it could be at any point. Like, once you shared that, every single time you think about English, like when you started learning English, all of a sudden one day, probably you were practicing writing, handwriting, and one day at night, approximately 3 to 3:30,
particular alphabet.
Particular alphabet, yes, F, and he got an alertness all of a sudden that, oh, I've come in contact with the perfect F. He didn't think that, okay, morning should be the perfect time to open up my notebook and to get started writing. By the time you'll open up your notebook in the morning, you'd have forgotten all of those things. It happens. Like, it's human psychological thing, probably. I don't know. I'm talking about it, but still. So I have experienced it so many times. What happens when I don't get any opportunity? I would always make excuses that, okay, right now I don't have the time. But I always remind myself of, I have the time to eat my food. I have the time to go to bed. So I have observed that, okay, when I'm eating food, why am I not just simply revising it? When I'm thinking of doing that, why am I not starting doing it? So no matter whatever amount of opportunity you are getting, believe me guys, as he started it, maybe it sounds really joke, but no, like, whatever moment you're getting, it's really precious. You don't know what's going to be happening. Like, at any point of time, you can see yourself, or I don't know whether you'll be able to see yourself or not. Probably your family member will see yourself in a place, I don't know.
Like your soul find itself that I'm no more in the living body.
Like you're thinking, eating fast food, that okay, I'm going to start learning English, I'm going to start doing this, and all of a sudden you see that your body is in a funeral place, your body is being burned, and you don't have any idea that, oh my god, where am I and where is my body? So yes, absolutely, jokes apart, but still, when you think about the end of your life, so many people get so depressed that, why should I think about my death? It shouldn't be thought. My family members say, whenever I talk about this in front of my mother say, why are you talking like that? Why are you saying this? What if it happens? What?
It is inauspicious.
Yeah. I mean, really.
When you talk about death in our normal household, this is not auspicious.
It feels as if they've never seen anybody dying.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely a misconception that nothing's going to be happening. We always, yes, we do believe in death, but we always think that it's going to be happening with other person.
Do you remember that quote of David Goggins? He once said that the moment, in a book probably, he said, the moment you take your first breath, you are eligible to die.
Yeah, you're eligible to die.
So true. Like the way he put it, like it's so easy to understand where we stand as living beings.
Yeah. So I love to practice on it, like as Ryan Holiday always practices on it, that memento mori, remembrance of your death, remember that you are going to die. So once I was watching a video and there Ryan Holiday was talking about death, and I saw a comment and he said, as soon as my child has born, Ryan Holiday is like, memento mori, remember you're going to die.
Yeah, or the kind of thing like, because he has got too much of happiness, that's why Yes, he's got mentally unstable.
Yeah, yeah. But jokes apart, you have to think about it every single moment. The moment you're thinking that, I don't know, I might die tomorrow, so why not doing the work today? So I remind myself of this thing a lot, every single moment, that I don't know. When I go to bed every night, though now I don't get the opportunity to go to bed at night, but whenever I go to bed, I remind myself of, I pray to God that I may not get the opportunity to be alive the next moment. So before I go to bed, I want to make sure that I'm getting done with my work. So maybe I practice for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but still I make sure that yes, I am done with that work, or at least I have practiced it. Reminding yourself of death can be a motivation, as you've said, inspiration, and simultaneously like being serious or thinking about that, okay, that is the right moment. As we were talking about, what is the right moment to get started? The moment you're thinking what should be the right moment, that moment is the right moment.
So, Shubhodra, we have done the discussion about the right time. I have a personal question for you. You have been here learning English for a long time. Like, it's been about 2 years. What I have seen in you, because like over the last couple of months, I'm astonished completely when I'm saying this, because things that I recommended for you, you followed all the things that I told you. I asked you to focus on your breath, because when you are speaking, if you are very excited, then the things that you are saying, they don't leave any impact, because words have their sweetness. If you don't understand the right application of the words, what do the words want, then you will be messing up. So for that reason, I suggested you a couple of things, and you sincerely focused on all of those things. So can you talk a little bit about your approach towards making every moment count and right?
So, yes, thank you so much for this wonderful question. Some days ago, I had quite a few work, so I was not able to focus on my English. So, when I realized that I was and I'm still facing some problem, that whenever it's come to a topic, whenever it's come to a discussion, I'm always facing some problem that is unseen. But sometimes I try to think very clear way. I try to monitor, because sometimes what happens whenever I watch reels, I cannot focus on a work at that time, a single work. So that time I realized that if I continue it, then my performance will deteriorate it. So that is not so important, because what happens when we take a exam, this time we are not so prepared, because we always think that after 2 months, after 2 months, we do not think that if our exam would come in the next morning, we delay it. So I think in order to, and I also applied in myself, I used to try that I used to take everything very emergency, because when I have so many thing emergency, then I'm very much aware that I have my exam tomorrow, I have my everything tomorrow, so I have to be very much aware. So that method I followed, and that I tried to apply in my speaking, because when I do not take English very seriously, I always delay, I procrastinate. So that's not good. And I also focused on my breathing, because when I try to calm myself, I have to focus on my breathing. I have to apply some appropriate words. That is so important. And I tried to read newspaper, because when I read newspaper, I get various kind of sentence structure, so that I can apply in future. So there were so many things I applied, and I have been getting the help from this method. And I think when I take something very emergency, this time I am very much aware. And for English, I think it's so important to take very much seriously, and we need to just think about emergency. If I will get something very emergency, what will happen? So that I try to apply in my personal life.
Well, whatever she has talked about, it has reminded me of something, which is that we always talk about active listening, active reading. But here, I think when it is about speaking, we have to be very active here. Active speaking is really important in order to create a good version of your English learner. Because what happens, why am I talking about active speaking? Because let's say you've given me a topic and I'm trying to talk about it. Most of the time you see people just take this topic and they talk about it and they just finish it. That's it. But when I'm talking about something, if I'm not active in it, then I think I'm not paying attention. It is not that I'm not going to make mistake. It is that I'm making mistake, I'm learning from it, simultaneously I'm taking care of some of the other things. As she was talking about breathing, I would say that intonation or modulation or each thing which are really important in order to make a proper speaking.
Got it.
Here I think active speaking is really important, that you are aware of each and every word, sentence structure, or whatever you are talking about. Like, you are aware. It is not that, okay, I've got a topic and I'm talking about it, people have listened to me, that's it. No, you have listened to each and everything, whatever you have spoken, whatever you have talked about. So here active listening is really important. Simultaneously, when you are speaking, active speaking is more important.
So here you were talking about active speaking, and you're talking about certain things that we need to keep in mind while speaking fluent English. One question comes in my mind. Well, like, the question occurred to me when you were talking about this. Then how can some English trainers claim that they can make anybody fluent in English in just 6 months? Please explain.
I think it happens because of a lot of misconception. Because so many times we confuse fluency with fast speaking.
Yeah.
If you are fast at reading something, that let's say I'm giving you a sentence that I read every day, I eat every day, I drink every day. The faster you are able to speak, that is fluency. It's a misconception, believe me or not. Fluency is something that you are aware of whatever you are talking about. Fluency is that you are taking breath, you are throwing each and every sentence towards audience so that they can understand. Fluency is not that, okay, let's talk about something and people are not able to understand this. You're talking about something which is clear, which has clarity in it. People are able to understand. It is not that those who are really great at speaking, they are able to understand whatever you're talking about. You are speaking in such a way so that from the beginner level to that pro level, each and everybody, those who are learning English, are able to understand whatever you're talking about. Fluency is that you have the sweetness, you have the softness. Absolutely, it doesn't happen overnight, but you practice it, and never ever confuse fast speaking with fluency. It's absolutely, it doesn't work at all. I had that, and you rectified my mistake that I always would speak in such a way as if, okay, I have to take a train or something like that every single time. Yes, an emergency is waiting for me out there, and I have to somehow manage my speaking, and I gotta go out there. No, absolutely not. How you're presenting whatever you're talking about. As you know, when you go to a restaurant, you never ever, believe me or not, people not every single time go there to eat. They go there because of the serving. They go there, the presentation, or most of the restaurants are famous not because of their food, but because of their presentation, the way they have the way they've maintained their restaurant. They go there to click pictures. So prepare yourself in such a way so that people are not fascinated with the fastness of your speaking, but people are fascinated with whatever you are talking about. That yes, it has something, or it has like a kind of zeal in it, which is giving me the fire in myself that I also can speak. Because when you are proving that you have to be a fast speaker in order to be fluent. So many people are not going to take the step. They're afraid of speaking fast English. When you're proving that whatever you're talking about, make sure you have clarity in it, make sure you have a kind of hesitation free in it, or you never ever get stuck, or you get stuck but you know this, you have the smartness to manage the hesitation. That's called fluency. I do believe it is not about fast speaking. But as you're talking about that, why then so many trainers are out there, they claim that they can make people speak 6 months. Absolutely, you can speak for 6 months, but it requires the practice. We never talk about that. We always say that practice, we always say that you can speak English, but the hard work behind it never talked about.
So I can show you guys a dictionary. It's called Oxford Paperback Thesaurus. Okay, Oxford Paperback Thesaurus. I bought this book from bestofUsedBooks.com, which cost me rupees 200 something, 250 something, and you get a lot of synonyms and antonyms of words, because we often speak English with the same word and we get bored of doing that, right? So it's better that you apply different words. And I also recommend Oxford's Advanced Learners Dictionary, okay, latest edition, because if you get a word, let's say you get 5 synonyms of a single word, and these synonyms are applied in different context. So I always I would tell you people in the class that a single word is a dead word unless it is applied in a sentence. So you need to see how the word is applied in a sentence, which actually gives you an idea about the application of the word, as if the word is an adjective or an adverb or a verb or a noun, whatever the word is. So that's what I'm saying. Thesaurus, guys. Thesaurus, Oxford Paperback Thesaurus. You will get the link in the description. Check it out. You have to have this one if you want to take your English to the next level. Because thinking that you have a fluency, you can speak English effortlessly, that doesn't add any value. You have to have some different words in your own dictionary, own vocabulary bank that inspire you to speak English. What do you think?
So yes, absolutely. In order to speak good English, you have to have your own word bank. You have to have the idea of a proper amount of vocabs, so that you can utilize it on time. And it is also not that you have vocabularies but you don't know the use of them. You have words and you are aware of using of each and every one of those words. You know how to use them. So words are really important. And listening different types of videos which can give us not only the word but how to use that word, the idea simultaneously, the tone of word. Or I've seen the pictorial word in my book, but I don't know how to pronounce it. So when you are listening to the pronounce of it, then you're getting the idea. Not only that, you can, like in dictionary we get different types of pronunciation: Indian English or American English or Britain English, Canadian, different types of vocabulary. So just be grateful and just think about the huge amount of or vast level of resources or opportunities we are getting.
Like in the middle, we talked about prioritization, right? More opportunities, more options, more facilities look impressive, but they, on the other hand, make you paralyzed. Decision making fatigue. We are not able to make proper decision, and that's why we are anxious, that's why we are depressed, and we are depressed for many other reasons. Robin Sharma said one thing: repetition is the mother of mastery. As simple as that. The word actually forced you to do some brainstorming when you came across that word for the first time. You need a couple of repetitions to be able to remember that word otherwise you will forget. Newspaper reading is one of them, which really helps us to revise words. Newspaper reading on a daily basis, if you read crime news, accident news, news related to politics, sports, so many genres, then you get the help to revise and brush up those words. But what about you're not doing all of this? What about you're not reviewing the words that you learned? It's like, once I was listening to a spiritualist, and he was talking about Gita, and recently I have taken interest in it. He was saying that Gita is not a book that you read once. Gita is kind of a book that you have to read every day, like you brush your teeth and take a bath. Every day, the same sloka, the same commentary, the same gyan. And because you are going through different problems and phases and challenges of your life every day, so that's why you have to go through the same slokas and you get the different meaning in different situations. Similarly, if we apply this thing, like, you every day you work out, right? Let's say you work out every day to keep your body fit. You give push-ups, same push-ups every day. You repeat. Now when I do workout every day, when I give push-ups, and the kind of push-ups I give these days, they're far different from the day when I give push-ups for the first time. So it's like reviewing the stuffs that you learned once, right? That really helps you.
So yes, when I was facing all the problem, I tried to make intention, because when I have a proper intention, then I can learn a lot of things. Because we always feel that if I will get an emergency, then I will be working. So I think initially it doesn't happen always. We do not have emergency always. So when I cannot apply any word in my personal conversation, I always think about the solution, that what can I do. As you people were discussing, that vocabularies are our weapon. We can speak, we can make our speaking very interesting through in words. That is so important. So every time I face problem, and I always think about my future, that if I will face some obstacle, then what I will do. So since that time I have been following a method that is so important, because whenever it's come to performing, it feels like good, it feels like easy, but whenever it comes to applying a words, that doesn't come in a proper moment. So I always try to make some target words. That is so important. Every time whenever I make some proper plan, I know that, let's say I have 2 words that I'm gonna apply after some time. I'm trying to just recheck. I'm trying to recheck the word, that so that I can speak it. Because if I always think that I can speak but I do not have the proper intention, so I think this time I cannot apply properly. So I try to write it down, I try to recheck the word before speaking. So it's very important. So I think it is so helpful. Whenever I practice at home, I try to write down some word, and when I'm not able to remember it, I try to recheck, because by practicing our performance gets better. So every time I try to write down all the word, and when I'm not able to remember, I try to recheck. But it doesn't mean that I always, when I'm performing, I'm checking the word. Okay. It's not like that.
Because then you feel anxiety.
Yes, then I feel anxiety. So before performing anything, I try to recheck the word again and again, so that I can apply the word. And I think whenever the more I practice at home, the more I'm fluent, because I try to apply some word. But when I try to play with word, this time it's not so easy, because I'm trying to express my thoughts simultaneously. I'm trying to apply some words that is appropriate for my speaking. So I think before speaking anything, if we recheck the word again and again, then it is always in our mind. So that I try to practice every time.